Hello, Fight fans. Dameon Nelson of the Pro Wrestling Report, which you can watch here on FITE TV, as you well know. And a big day is coming up on May 16th as Cagefighter Worlds Collide will be released exclusively on FITE TV all around the world. And I have the pleasure and honor to talk to one of the show's stars with us right now to tell us a bit more about what we're going to see in the movie. Please welcome UFC star Luke Rockhold. Luke, how are you today?
Just as good, about as anybody. So tough times, and pretty excited about the movie coming out. So at least we get something live and something current. Nice
Absolutely. Well, Cagefighter Worlds Collide. It's going to follow the journey of MMA knockout specialist Rice Gibbons, who's going to be encouraged by his promoter to enter the cage with international pro wrestling champion and showman Randy Stone. And it's an all-star cast from sports and internationally recognized actors. It's an electrifying look at the world at the top of the MMA cage. And Luke, you're going to play a big role in that movie. Tell us a bit more about Cagefighter and what we are in store for on May 16th.
Cagefighter. It was a cool project. I think it's that much better because of the inner workings and the knowledge of the actual movie. It's like it was very related to similar occurrences in the fight sports. With Randy Stone coming out, very Brock Lesnar-ish, and then Reese, obviously Reese Gibbons. He actually has the best part is both guys they actually can fight.
Yeah.
Even Randy Stone, and I've seen him in there working, and the guy has some natural ability. So Alex, the Reese Gibbons, is a current fighter, and a guy has had quite a few fights. He's a very talented guy. So him coming up, getting knocked down, and then coming back and taking out the showman, the Randy Stone. So it was a cool project to work on, and there was a lot of interesting things coming on. A lot of real fight injuries. You should it was very. I'm not sure exactly how far I want to get into it, but how far I can release.
Well, here's a question for you. Your time in the UFC, and as we know, Jon Moxley, a professional wrestler, those worlds are colliding in this movie, but there had to be a great amount of physicality in the filming of the movie alone. I don't know that there were any stuntmen needed, it seems.
Yeah, I didn't see any. All I know is our actors were limping in and out of the sound room every day. The sound stage. It wasn't easy to get this thing buttoned up, but the guys bit down and made it happen. It was like a real fight.
Yeah, the skills that you have, obviously, from the UFC and from the Ultimate Fighting world definitely played a role in the movie. Had to make it easier for the stars and the producers to get along and to work together because you do have that talent and you knew how to work the movie, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, it wasn't my first flick, so it was, I didn't have to step too far outside myself to get this in, and it was good. They allowed me to change some scenes and to input some of my knowledge and to help make this thing that much better. So great crew of people, great cast, and a good storyline from top to bottom. It's a live pay-per-view event, and it's gonna feel like that.
Yeah, and it's got a big time fight feel in all the promotional materials that we've seen so far from the movie, and some big stars, as you said, big names, big people participating. But the world of reality of the combination or the battle, I guess you could call it, between the stars of Ultimate Fighting and the stars of professional wrestling gets very personified in this movie. It's the focal point of the movie, obviously. But from your standpoint, how was it blending those two worlds in the art of film?
That's interesting. But I think it's fighting is a showman sport, and we've seen the two blend together so seamlessly. Maybe not so seamlessly, but I was in the forefront of that when it all originally happened. When Kane had to fight Brock, and Brock came in and started making his noise. So being in the middle of that and seeing that play out, it was a very kind of similar feel. Randy comes in and is exactly like Brock, and comes in and lets himself be heard and talks a lot of shit, and they get and then just like old Brock, gotta
Yeah,
hand it back to him.
yeah. It's an interesting story that will be told, and I would imagine there's a good amount of drama because it's not easy, as you've talked about people who have done it, it's not easy to cross over from one field to the other. And in this movie, we're going to see that journey and the training that is very different because in your world, in the UFC world, you spend a lot of time training for a single fight. And obviously, you have the talents and skills to fight, but every fight is different. Whereas in wrestling, it's less of a training for a particular contest. It's more of overall training for a performance. How do we see that play out in the movie?
Yeah.
That whole training difference between the two sports.
Um, I think that's the cool thing is you're gonna get like an in-depth look of how they make that transition and cross over. So I mean the people are, I mean, not only Brock, but you see like a Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker
Mhm.
came in from his world, and he completely immersed himself in fighting, and put himself in our gym at 47 years old or whatever he started, and almost 8 months straight was in our gym every day training with us, and this is what you get to see where it's like where Moxley comes in and he puts in the work. He went to his own training and really kind of adapted and learned it and get himself prepared and ready for this role, and the movie really kind of delves into that and gets everybody that perspective and understanding.
Yeah.
So it's
What
cool. It's a cool dynamic to see the two kind of clash.
What was the hardest part of filming the movie for you?
Not fighting, being the coach,
Fighting,
watching
fighting, but
watching
not fighting.
watching the fight scenes go down from afar.
Yeah.
Uh, no, it was a good experience. It was fun. I got to train with Alex, who was playing Reese Gibbons, and he's a very talented guy, tough guy. Can fight his ass off, and so it's nice to have real fighters come in and play these roles. The guys that are acting, but actually are real fighters, and so he can. He's a hell of an actor, and he's a hell of a fighter.
It's always interesting in the film world going from the real world to the film world, where as you said, not fighting. Well, the fighting was happening, but it's actually you sometimes have to do it a few times, right? So because you got to
Yeah.
get the right camera shots, you got to get the right takes and all that. That had to prove difficult because you're trained, and all the people in the movie are trained to go in and well go after their opponent. Whereas in this scenario, it was probably a little different.
It was a little different, but there's still the injury is still mounted, and to go back in there and replay these fight scenes after you're getting injuries and having to try to coach him through that was that was the interesting part. No doubt, he was by the end of the movie trying to get the last couple fight scenes weren't easy. I'll tell you that. It was our guys were black and blue. I don't know, and that in that respect, I was happy to be on the other side of the cage.
Yeah. So what's next? What's after Cagefighter? This big movie coming out on May 16th. What's next in the world of Luke Rockhold?
Well, we're gonna let this thing drop, and I'm gonna get healthy. I had a surgery not too long ago, so I'm still healing up, and it's a good time to do that apparently. So right now, I'm just focused on myself, getting healthy, and moving forward. And so just getting that, and then you never know. You never know. I could get that itch.
Yeah. Well, it's a difficult one to scratch, and we're looking forward to Cagefighter when worlds will collide. That's going to be on May 16th. It's going to debut on Fight all over the world, and it's an interesting way it's going to be debuting all over the world because in your local time zones, it will be at 7 o'clock p.m. So in Australia, in London, in Canada, all over the world, 7 o'clock p.m., May 16th. It's a 24-hour event. Cagefighter, Worlds Collide, featuring so many great stars, including John Moxley, Luke Rockhold, and many, many more. Chuck Liddell, Jay Russo, a star-studded affair, a great movie. from what I've seen of it so far, I'm looking forward to seeing this film on May 16th on Fight TV.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. We not a lot to look forward to right now, and you got a real fight movie coming out, and so live on pay-per-view, it's gonna feel good, you know.
And you can watch it all day long. Watch it 12 or 14 times over the course of that 24 hours, huh?
You can rewatch the fight as much as we fought the scenes.
Well, fans, check your start time and price on all of the FITE digital platforms. And of course, you can go to FITE.tv. And FITE is so great if you don't have it already. It's just like watching Netflix, meaning if you can watch Netflix, you can use the same methods to watch FITE. Cagefighter Worlds Collide May 16th. It's going to be a tremendous film. And I have had a pleasure speaking with you today about the movie, Luke.
Pleasure. Absolutely. Enjoy the show.
Yeah,
I'll see you on the other side.
Absolutely. Get well, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us, Luke Rockhold from Cagefighter Worlds Collide here on FITE TV.